Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. If you're new here, I'm Sheena and this is my homestead. It is golden hour right now, which, as you know, it's my favorite time of the day. And actually I just finished taking some pictures of Liliana. I have a competition to enter and I really haven't been taking a lot of pictures because I've been doing this instead, which I will say it's definitely a lovely way to spend your time and it's definitely worth it. So there's that. But still need to get my work done. So we took some pictures with the ducks and I'll let you know how those turn out, but I think they're gonna be pretty good. I wanna show you an update on how everything's coming in, how everything's growing. We are certainly getting a lot of harvest these days, more than just lettuce to eat. We've got quite a few things that we're able to cook up in the kitchen with all of our yield. So let me show you how that's going. Most of my tomatoes have real tomatoes on them. So I do expect to be getting quite a few later this month. And these are my beans. These are dragon tongue beans. They are really unique. Let me show you. The kids love eating them and they yield quite a lot. We've already picked quite a few from here, but look at this. Oh my gosh, one plant has all of these on it. You just want to be careful when you're pulling them off that you don't break off the rest of the flower. I should say the limb. Okay, so that's it for that one. We have a couple here. And, oh my gosh, even more. A tip on your green beans, you want to make sure you pick them often. As soon as you let a green bean kind of not go to seed, but get like really overgrown, these are pushing it. It tells the plant that it doesn't need to produce any more fruit. And so it stops producing as much fruit, and you don't want that. You want the plant to think, I need more, because Sheena's family needs to eat. So you got to make sure you go out there and pick them often. If you don't get a yield big enough to eat like in a full serving for dinner, my suggestion is to kind of throw them in the freezer. That way you can put them all together at once and cook them, blanch them, and then, you know, do whatever you like with them. If you're going to can them, store them, or just throw them in your freezer long term. But that's kind of a tip for you. Green beans are one of those things. You can't let them get too big on the vine, or it tells the rest of the plant we don't need as much anymore. And that's never a good thing. Okay, here's some more. And you can see all these little flowers here will be new green beans. Oh, green beans are tricky. Sometimes it's hard to find them. See, these are a little big. That I would say is too big. I should have picked them like maybe 2 days ago. Here's another one. Thankfully it's early in the season and I think this plant will produce for a long time, but just remember, don't let it go too long or it'll stop producing for you. So I have these and those over there. Not bad. My rainbow chard is coming in. I mean, still so nice and so thick. Look at that there. We have eaten so much from these plants and it just continues to go. I did plant some more in a little section over here, and I'm hoping that that brings us all the way into winter time, because Swiss chard can grow through fall and early winter. So that's a good one to be planting now, by the way. This here is Swiss chard that voluntarily grew. You can see something's been munching on it, but I mean, look at these stalks. They are so beautiful here. I think what we're gonna do is pick some of these leaves and let them dry out on the porch and then grind them up and keep them later for smoothies and stuff like that. So yeah, you can enjoy a little bit of your harvest in the winter time. But for now, I'm actually going to pull some of these onions because we are getting rain tomorrow. And we want to grab these before they get wet. Some of them didn't grow as big as others, but when they've flopped over like this, they've reached as far as they're gonna go. So it's best to pull them. All right, so we harvested some shallots and a whole bunch more onions. You can see my dill is growing in between the onions. We're just using up extra space. And here's some basil. It has been really, really hot, so I'm hoping that it stays this way and doesn't bolt. But we all know that's gonna happen anyway. And then over here is my squash. And it is doing really well, as you can see. So the perfect time to pick your squash is right when the flower falls off. When that happens, that means your squash is ready. And again, it's one of those things where you don't want it to get too big, because if it does, it will tell the plant, okay, that's it, they don't need any more. And that's not the point of gardening. So let's see if we can get this guy off. It's beautiful. Look at that color. It's like sunshine. Oh, and we picked some wildflowers this evening from the garden in the front. Aren't those beautiful? We have some echinacea in there, which, by the way, we will make some echinacea tincture together. That would be really fun. Actually, maybe we'll do that really soon, because those purple coneflowers, they're coming in hot. Actually, most people don't know that. So purple coneflowers are echinacea, and you want to pick them, both the flower and the young leaves, right when the flower is nice and fresh. And you can put that into a high alcohol solution and let it sit there for a couple months, strain it off, and then you have your own echinacea. It's amazing, and it's great for your immune system in the winter. We take it all the time in the winter. We have the kids do it too, and we stay pretty well. I do think it lends its hand to the echinacea that we do from our own garden, so I will show you how to do that too. I'm gonna take this guy too. Keep telling that plant to keep producing more for us. I think I'll grab that guy in there. One thing you want to be careful about with squash is getting your arms all scratched up from these leaves. They are really prickly, both the underside and the top, and then the stalks have like little prickles on them too. And they'll give you like welts on your skin. Okay, well, let's move on. We'll leave our harvest there for just a minute as we take a look at the tomatoes. Woohoo! These are determinate tomatoes. They are Roma and San Marzano, and they are very good for things like salsa, tomato paste, tomato sauce, soups, all things like that. So I planted a lot of them this year, a lot. We also did some Granny, I forget the second part of that tomato name, is Granny something or other, but I grew those last year and really loved them. Those are not determinate. Those are indeterminate, which means they don't stop growing. They'll just continue to grow and continue to harvest. So we planted some of those along here, and those will grow up the vine. And you remember we planted marigolds too. So I love bringing flowers into the garden. Well, you already know that, but not just for beautiful purposes, but for bringing pollinators to your tomatoes. So all these little flowers, they just tend to get better pollinated when you have big, bright flowers among your fruits and vegetables. So that's a plan with that. Here it was our lettuce garden. It was the biggest success. We planted that together, if you remember, friends. It was great. I wanted to just sprinkle seeds in and have it grow this like prolific harvest, and it did. We ate salads for quite a long time. Angelina is my salad girl, and she just ate and ate and ate, but it has bolted, some of it. I put two different kinds in, and the thicker, greener kind is still trucking. So we're still getting a harvest off of this, but soon I'm gonna pick all of it, probably feed it to the chickens, let them have a nice treat, and start over with something else. But the carrots that we grew together are still going. Let me show you. So they are here. I should have planted them further apart, but they're fine. They're just growing into each other, which kind of stunts their growth, but that's okay. We have two pepper plants here. One is just a bell pepper and the other one is a jalapeno. So we're excited about that. This one's really getting started. And then I transplanted a couple pepper plants too, some leftover tomatoes. And then we have this other bed here with a few tomatoes, and then I have jalapeno plants. So this is a lemon spice jalapeno, and they are coming up really nicely. And this is a whole bunch of kale. And then we have a little bit more rainbow chard. I planted that after the other set so that we could have a succession of crop. And then over here is zucchini. That guy's going. And I planted this one after I planted the one over here. So let me show you how this is. I mean, there are just so many in here. It's insane. We have been eating squash every night for dinner. The kids love it. I've been cooking up our squash with some of the garlic that we grew together, onions, olive oil, some salt and pepper, a little bit of chili pepper flakes. Angelina's practicing, of course. And let me tell you, it is so good. You add butter in just at the end, and it's amazing. The butter gives it a brown coating, and if you just let it sit there, like don't toss it too much, it just caramelizes and becomes yummy, yummy, delicious goodness. So maybe I'll do an episode and show you how I do that. You will love it, especially with all the squash that's coming in. I know gardeners right now are like, look at my squash, look at my zucchini. It's, we've got a lot of it, a lot, but that's a good thing. Okay, so enough of the squash. Let me show you the cucumbers. These are Boston pickling cucumbers. They're so cute. Let me show you. Okay, are you ready for this? Brace yourselves. Oh my gosh. It's so stinking cute. Let me see if I can find another one here. Oh, that one's even more of a baby. Just adorable. And then here we have a green bean. I think this is a contender. And oh my goodness, look at all these skinny green beans we have on here. So I am having a hard time having anything grow in this side of the bed, and this is the bed that is under the tree. So we are going to do a tiny bit of tree trimming. This little branch here doesn't need to be there, and it'll probably help the growth of the rest of the tree anyway. But yeah, I've struggled with this side and getting anything really to grow. This is corn here, and it's okay, but it should just be so much bigger by now. So note to self, really, this bed only gets shade for 2 hours a day, and even that is just ruining the harvest. So I'll have to keep that in mind next year when I start planting there. But yeah, look at all of this abundance. It's just amazing. And the orchard is doing super well. I'll take you over there real quick. We've actually gotten quite a bit of rain in the past, I would say 2 weeks. Just a lot more than before. Remember, we were going through a drought, and oh, that was a beautiful bird. We were going through a drought, and I mean, I was just spending all of my time coming out here and watering each tree individually, and it was a lot. But look at this guy. And I even thinned him out, so it's just nuts to me. And we have peaches. Peaches are growing like crazy. Here's this one up here. So anyway, yes, the apples are starting to redden. They're so pretty. And our plums, you know the story with the plums. We have not gotten good harvests the last 2 years, and I know they're still young trees, so there's that. This is the only one. Yeah, you can see some there. That was the only one that did anything. So we're happy at least one did. But yeah, if you have any tips, any of you out there on plums, please let me know. I don't know if maybe I should be fertilizing with something, or I don't know. But that is yet to be determined on whether we can get some fruit out of those trees. But let me show you the grapes. Like, this is amazing. Look at that. I am just blown away by how many bunches of grapes are on one plant. It's insane. But I'm really loving that we did this last year. I mean, look at these. Now, I do have to tie these up. These little sprigs that grew out this way, I have to tie them up to the fence. But they're doing amazing. And I did put these little jewelry bags over some of the grapes to kind of keep them from the birds. It has helped. The ones that are in there don't have any taken, but you can see, you know, in other spots, birds have gotten to some. So I think that's working. I should probably upgrade my jewelry bags to bigger sizes for these growing grapes. Another apple. And last in this line, we have a pear. We do have about 5 or 6 pears on this tree, but in time we shall have more. Okay, the watermelon are really coming in, and I am a little scared as to how many I planted in so close together, but let me show you. This is a field of watermelon. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing the very first one here with you guys. Oh my gosh, it's the cutest thing in the world. Let's see if we can find any more. Oh my gosh. Yes. Look at that one. Oh my gosh. We are gonna have so much watermelon. Holy cow. I absolutely love it. How adorable. If you know me in my personal life, you know I'm obsessed with babies. I have 4 of my own. I feel like I want to have 8. And I am a newborn children's photographer. So obviously I love children a lot. But I also love baby anything. So baby watermelon, baby cucumbers. It's just so cute. But let me show you the blackberries, because as you know, they're coming in hot this year. This is more than we've ever had. And let me just say, I'm really glad we've got the freeze dryer. Electrical is going in this week on that, and we are going to be able to fire that baby up and use her real soon. But take a look at these. it's just as far as the eye can see. Blackberries everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So pruning them definitely helped. I mean, look at that. Like, that's a carton in itself. And that was only like 2 square feet. This goes on and on and on. Oh my gosh. I think that there is one ripe. Yeah, holy cow. You guys, you are witnessing the very first blackberry of the 2023 year. Okay, so usually I find one of the kids and let them try the first berry of the year. But because we found it together, you and me, I'm gonna try it. Okay, ready? Tastes like sunshine, all wrapped up into a berry. Oh my gosh. I am so excited at how many there are here. If you don't grow blackberries at home, you have to. It's one of the very first things that we planted in this yard, long before I was a gardener, and totally worth it. You really don't have to do much. Just prune them, like I said. But besides that, they just grow and they multiply and multiply and multiply, and they start to come out like on the edges and stuff. You actually have to cut them back unless you want them to take over. So that is something you have to try. Please, people. And you know what a good tip is? You can look up in your local, like, you could do gardening groups on Facebook, like local. You could do Craigslist. People sell clippings, like blackberry clippings, that you can plant right in your yard. And really, I would just get like 2 or 3, and soon they will take over your yard. Actually, I have to clip them back from our air conditioner often. So anyway, also, I feel like ADD in the garden. I'm looking down on this side of our watermelons, and holy cow, there are more. Let me show you. I think it's safe to say we will probably be eating watermelon for a month straight. The kids are gonna be like, wait, is there anything else to eat? And I'm gonna be like, no, you eat squash and watermelon. That's it. Maybe some green beans. But no, for real. Then we'll switch to like apples. It's the best, you guys. There really isn't anything like gardening and harvesting your own food. It's what we were meant to do. It's what God wanted us to do. And learning all these things is really rewarding. And I feel great that the kids are eating food that I grew. I grew it from seed this year, which adds another level of appreciation. And sorry if you hear anything in the background. Rob and Angelina are playing volleyball together. But it just adds another level of appreciation for our food and where that comes from. And, you know, just the fact that we know everything that went into this process. And you can see I have little bugs that are, you know, munching on my cabbage, and that's okay. I will learn along the way what things are safe, how to use them, and maybe other things to deter pests and stuff like that. But for now, I'd rather be safe rather than sorry. So we have not sprayed anything anywhere. It's 100% completely organic, and our chickens eat the same way. We do sell our eggs to friends, and we have had some friends of friends purchase, and to hear them say things like, these are the best eggs we've ever tasted. Like, you can taste the sunshine. And that these chickens were out in the open and, you know, enjoying their life and eating yummy things. You know, you can taste that in the end product. So it's really important. It's really important. But thank you again for coming with me, and I will show you my full harvest in just a minute, but I just want to say thank you. And my subscribers keep growing, and we really appreciate it. Our family really appreciates it. And I don't know, I've prayed about this for a long time, and I feel like this is the route that we want to go. And I think it's important that people see a good, strong Christian family, trying new things, stepping outside of social norms, and going back to our roots, going back to the way things used to be when everyone was healthy and happy and thriving. And we just want that for our kids and our family. So we're learning all the things that our grandparents, actually our great-grandparents used to know, that generations don't really know anymore. I mean, like my parents know a lot about landscape planting, and Rob's parents know more about like basic gardening, tomatoes, cucumbers, and things like that. But, you know, not about growing potatoes and, you know, like a full, well-rounded harvest. And all the canning process, and I'm learning all of that. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna teach you what I know, and maybe you could share some tips and tricks if you've been doing it for a long time, because we are here to learn and to grow and to share with each other and just bring back all of that goodness, all those things that used to be that aren't anymore, but they're coming back. And you and me, we can help bring it back together. I'm really excited that you're all along with me on this trip, on this journey, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I hope that you all have a great week and a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye, friends.